So we will dedicate our session to His A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder and Acharya of ISKCON. We are on 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's titled as Devotional Service. It has 20 verses. So far we have covered verse number 1 to 7. Today we will be doing verse number 8 to 12. And in this verses, we will talk about progressive stages of bhakti. So we have seen that throughout Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Yoga has been established as the supreme, as the best. So in the last session, we learned that when Arjuna asked Krishna that which is better, impersonalism or Bhakti Yoga, Krishna realized, yes, those who are involved in my devotional services, whose mind and activities are all dedicated to me, my personal form, are the best. And for such devotees, I personally intervene and take them beyond this ocean of material existence. And he also highlighted the problems with the impersonal aspect. He told that this impersonal aspect, if one follows this Nirakar or Nirvisheshwar, then one may be able to achieve the same goal, but after a long period of time. And that too only when he gets an association with some bhakta or some kripa, then only he will be able to elevate to that realization of Bhagwan. But still, there are so many difficulties, and it's a miserable path, difficult path, klesho adhiktaras tesham, when one follows this impersonal aspect of absolute truth. So this was about our last session. Now, if Bhakti Yoga is supreme, Bhakti Yoga is best, so we might think that we are not capable of doing that. It's so good, it's so nice, it's so highest. Oh, I am not capable, I cannot do, like that we might feel. So Krishna gives us many options in today's verse. He tells, okay, if you are not at that level, you can try from a lower level and then rise to the higher level. So today we'll be talking about the progressive stages of bhakti, that bhakti can be practiced at multiple levels. So that we will talk about. And the last session, we'll discuss about the qualities that will endear one to Lord Krishna. That makes a devotee favorable to Lord Krishna. So progressive stages of bhakti, or multiple levels at which we can practice bhakti. So in today we will cover 5 verses, and in the verse number 8 to 9, we will discuss the highest form of bhakti. Okay. That bhakti, if we do with internal senses, if we are applying our mind and intelligence, then it is the topmost, and it will be discussed in verse number 8 to 9. If we cannot do that level of bhakti, then at least we try to engage our senses in doing some service to Krishna. It can be direct or indirect, but we are involving our external senses and trying to do bhakti. And then if we are not able to do this also, then Krishna says, okay, start giving up the results of your work for some good cause. Maybe not for Krishna, but for some good cause. And in that way, you will purify your mind, and slowly you can progress to higher stages of bhakti. And in then 12.12, a hierarchy is discussed in which all these levels are compared. So this is the first verse for today. Anybody like to recite this?
I will recite now. Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayeva ata urdhvam na samshayaha. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt.
Okay, thank you, Ashok. So Mayeva mana adasva. Fix your mind on me. Okay? Mayev, unto me. Man adasva. Fix it. Mayi buddhi niveshasya. Apply your intelligence unto me. So here, what Krishna is saying that when one is at a level of devotion, when his mind is spontaneously attracted towards Krishna, there is spontaneous attraction. Such a devotee need not make any effort to fix his mind on Krishna. His mind is automatically drawn towards Krishna. Like Kunti Maharani, she prays that let my mind be drawn towards Krishna like Ganges is flowing towards ocean. In a similar manner, my mind should always be attracted to the Leela, name, fame of Krishna. So now we give examples of some elevated devotees in this context, like Madhavendra Puri was there. Madhavendra Puri was the guru of Ishvara Puri, and he was such a elevated devotee of the Lord that he didn't use even to beg for his survival. He used to survive on if somebody gives him, he used to take that and just be engaged 24/7 in remembrance of Krishna. And one time it happened that Krishna himself has to take a role of a boy, coward boy, and he brought some buttermilk for Madhavendra to drink because he had not eaten anything from whole day because nobody has given him anything. So such devotees, they are so engaged that they are not worrying about their bodily demands. And similarly, like because we say that chanting Hare Krishna is equivalent to there is no difference between name and Krishna. So whenever we are chanting Krishna's name, Krishna is there with us. He's dancing with his internal potency on our tongue. And in this way, Haridas Thakur, there's an example of Haridas Thakur who used to chant 3 lakhs name of Krishna. And that's how he always used to live in Krishna. So in this it is written that Niveshyasi Mayeva means such a devotee always lives in me. Atha urdhva na sanshaya. Atha urdhva means thereafter, such a devotee always lives in me because his mind and intelligence is always engaged. And there is no doubt about it. So we can give an example of Prabhupada also. Prabhupada was 24/7 always thinking about Krishna and how to preach his glories to each and everyone. And he lived in Vrindavan, but just to follow the order of his spiritual master, he went to the west. So devotees say that we can take Vrindavan, we can take a devotee out of Vrindavan, but not Vrindavan out of devotees. So devotees, even if they are not residing in any dham, they carry Vrindavan with them. They carry Krishna with them wherever they go. And that's the meaning, that such a devotee always lives in Krishna. These devotees are not on any material plane. They are already on transcendental plane, and that's why they are always living with Krishna. For example, if our goal, if we fix our goal as Krishna, then we have to always live in that goal. For material goals also, suppose sometimes somebody has a goal that he wants to build a beautiful house, or somebody has a goal that he wants to go to outside countries outside India, then they will be always living in that goal. They will be always thinking how to fulfill that goal. Similarly, this shloka gives us a message that we should fix our goal as Krishna, attainment of Krishna's love, pure love, and we should always live in that goal. For example, like a drunkard. A drunkard has an addiction towards drinking, and he's always thinking about that. He's addicted towards that. Similarly, our mind should always think of Krishna. We always say, always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And a devotee who is able to practice such a level of consciousness is the topmost. And the second line says, Mai Buddhi Niveshas. So here we talked about engaging our mind, remembering Krishna. So it can be also called as Smanatmika Bhakti, which we'll discuss later. And Mai Buddhi Niveshya means when we are applying our intelligence and then remembering Krishna. How we can do that? Like we can read scriptures and we can contemplate on them. Or some devotees like Rup Goswami and Sahaja Goswami, they were very good philosophically, Jeev Goswami. So they used to read scriptures, they used to write scriptures, they used to write commentaries on these scriptures so that the coming generation can take benefit from them. So that is applying our intelligence in serving Krishna. So this way, and we also, like, we can plan so many things how to preach. So that is also uh, um, like the form in which we can try to engage our intelligence in serving Krishna. So this is about the topmost level of devotion. Now in the next, okay, so this is the description of this verse, which I've already told. The example of Haridas Thakur, Rup Goswami is there, Madhavendra Puri is there, Prahlad Maharaj is there. So we can fix our mind and intelligence on Krishna. And such a person is living in direct relationship with Krishna, and his position is transcendental. He is not on material plane. The holy name of the Lord and Lord are non-different. So when a devotee is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna is with his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. And when he offers Krishna's food, Krishna directly accepts these, and the devotee becomes Krishnized by eating those remnants. And what will be the result of engaging our mind and intelligence in Krishna? You will always live in Krishna, and there is no doubt about it. So this is the explanation of this verse. Now, in the next verse, Krishna says, somebody will like to recite this verse?
Yeah, I can recite. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
अथ चितं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मम इच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. My dear Arjun, O winner of health, winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
Thank you, Santosh. At chittam samadhatu. Chittam means mind. At means there. Malik samadhatu, if you're not able to, na saknoshi. This my line means if you're not able to fix your mind in this way. At chittam samadhatu na sokshnashi mahi stiram. If you're not able to fix your mind in me, then abhyas yogen tato mam ichchaptu dhananjaya. Then practice abhyas yoga and develop a desire to attain mam ichchaptu dhananjaya. Here Arjuna was calling, Krishna is calling Arjuna as Dhananjaya. There is a reason behind it. We have discussed that whenever some specific name of Arjuna or Krishna is mentioned, it has a reason behind it. So here he's calling Krishna as Dhananjaya because Dhananjaya means he collected Dhan, Lakshmi for Rasuya, for Yudhishthir Maharaj. So he was very good in doing that. He conquered so many areas and he collected Lakshmi. So here Krishna is trying to say that now you try to conquer this, the supreme wealth is attraction towards me. And you try to get that supreme wealth of Krishna's attraction. And in a way, Krishna is giving us a message that you should also aim towards that, attaining the supreme wealth, that is Krishna's love. Now, Krishna is saying that if it's not possible for you to fix your mind, you are getting deviated. So here the message is the mind will definitely go here and there, but we should not let our mind stay away always. It may stray here and there, it may go here and there, but we have to try to bring it back again and again on Krishna's name and Krishna's form, Krishna's activities. So this verse talks about that we have to follow certain rules and regulations under the guidance of spiritual master. So it talks about sadhana bhakti, and we all are sadhakas. We are devotees whose mind yet is not spontaneously attracted towards Krishna. So we have to try doing it, and that is only principles of bhakti, like we are getting up early in the morning and then trying to chant Krishna's name and trying to fix our mind, even if it is going here and there. And with that practice, slowly and slowly, a day will come when we will develop that spontaneous attraction towards Krishna. Because what will happen if we practice this? Due to repetition and practice, we will get some spiritual impressions. And then we will realize that this activity gives me joy and everything else is futile. And when we relish the joy of doing all these Krishna conscious activities, then slowly and slowly we can progress towards love of Krishna. So this is practicing. For example, like initially we know that we all have the dormant love for Krishna in our heart, all living entities. But now it has been covered. It has been covered because of material association. That's why we are not able to relish these activities. We have to force our mind to engage in these activities. We are more attracted towards sense gratification. So we have to purify our mind by keep doing these activities again and again. Because we know that when a small child, he has that capacity to walk. But when he start walking, he fell down, he falls so frequently. But with repeated practice and practice, one day he is able to walk. Similarly, when we learn typing and all, initially we find so much difficulty, but afterwards we can type very fast. So practice always makes one perfect. So similarly, if we keep practicing, one day we will also develop a desire to attain Krishna. So this is a level of sadhana bhakti, of practicing, keeping our mind engaged in Krishna, and there are certain activities mentioned by Prabhupada in the purport by which we can engage our mind in Krishna's remembrance. So in verse 12.8 and 12.9, we discussed about these two types of bhakti, Raganuga bhakti and Vedic bhakti. So Raganuga bhakti is like we have already developed attachment for Krishna, and we are just doing our prescribed duties as an obligation. That's all. And in that also two types is there: Smaranatmika, when we are trying to fix our mind on Krishna, and second is Mananatmika. Manan means here Manan, don't like confuse it with Man. Mananan means contemplation. We are trying to contemplate using our intelligence. So this is Mananatmika. And the 12.9 talks about Vedic sadhana bhakti. So we have not yet developed that attachment for Krishna. So we have to follow certain rules and regulations. So this is called as Abhyas Rupa Bhakti. Abhyas Yogendra. Abhyas Rupa Bhakti. So these three types of bhakti, we can see they are performed internally. It involves our subtle body. Okay. And we know that wherever our subtle body lives, wherever our mind and intelligence is attached, we live there. Whether our physical body is anywhere else. Okay. We will be in a house, but if we are devotee, our mind and intelligence will be always attached to the form of Krishna, remembering that we are in temple or something like that. So, like I give example, we took like Prabhupada out of Vrindavan, but Vrindavan never left him. He was always living in that consciousness. So it is a matter of consciousness. So it is done with internal subtle body, mind and intelligence. And intelligent and inoffensive people can perform them easily, but it is difficult for less intelligent people. So we have already discussed that how we have to perform these prescribed rules and regulations under the guidance of spiritual master. What we can do, we can rise early in the morning, then we can offer prayers to Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. We can collect flowers and offer to the deities, dress the deities, bathe the deities, like that we can do. And then we can cook, offer food and then take prasadam. We can constantly hear Bhagavatam from pure devotees. So all these activities will, we are trying to fix our mind on Krishna. But we all know, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, 6.34 verse. Mind is very fickle and it is very difficult to control. So one may not be able to restrain it. So one who cannot even gradually fix the mind by practice, if somebody is finding it very difficult, like some devotees say, oh, I cannot sit and chant for 2 hours. I cannot fix my mind for so long. So Krishna suggests the following option, that at least you perform bhakti with external senses. So what that means? That means work for Krishna. So somebody would like to recite this verse?
Yeah, I'll recite. अभ्यासे अपि असमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थम् अपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिम् apasyavi. If you cannot practice the regulations of bhakti yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me you will come to know perfect stage.
Thank you, Ashika. So abhyas appe aso samartho asi. If you are not able to practice this also, then mat karma karmo bhava. Try to work for me. Madartam kabi karmani kurvan siddhim avapyasi. By doing such work for me, you will attain perfection. You will also someday come to the perfect stage. So this Chaitanya Prabhu says that this working for Krishna can involve two sub-levels. The first level is like directly working for Krishna, like devotees. Some devotees, they are full-time. And what they are doing? They are always engaged in doing some activities for Krishna. Like directly working for Krishna means we can help buying flowers, grocery for making prasad. Then we can go and distribute books for Krishna, or we can help in cleaning the temple with our hands. We can go and collect flowers from the garden, and so many activities. We can cook prasadam, cook bhoga for offering to the deities. So all these activities actually we are performing, like we can easily say by our karma indriyas. So that internal senses was we are doing with our jnana indriyas. But this working for Krishna can be done with our hands, with our legs and all. You know? So we are engaging our external senses in serving Krishna. Like in the picture you can see the devotee is going and distributing books. So by doing these activities, someday he will come to the stage of engaging his mind and intelligence Krishna, and he will also attain a perfect stage. So here the perfection which Krishna is talking is devotional perfection. He's not talking about any siddhis like anima, mahima, ladima, the siddhis which Ashtang yogis aim at. It's about devotional perfection. So these devotees, by just by working for Krishna, they will get association of devotees, and then they will hear kirtan, they will hear chanting, they will hear lectures, and slowly they will try to engage their mind also in Krishna. And the second stage is, suppose Krishna says, if you are not able to directly work for me, because you have your own other responsibilities. So if some persons are favorable for Krishna consciousness, then they will try to this slide says, one should be very sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness. There are many devotees who are engaged in propagation of Krishna consciousness, and they require help. So even if one cannot directly practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such one. Voluntary service, if done to the cause of Krishna consciousness, will help one to rise to a higher state of love for God, whereupon one will become perfect. So we have given so many examples in this slide that one person, he had a big auditorium, okay? And he told to devotees that I have a big auditorium and I use only this auditorium for once a week, that too only in Saturday afternoon, and remaining time this auditorium is very free, nobody is using it. So why don't you use this to preach, to give lectures, to arrange seminars and all? So that devotee just offered his place, his land, whatever was available with him, for service to Krishna. So that is indirectly working for Krishna. He is assisting the devotees. And like this is a fruit seller. Some fruit sellers, they know that this flowers will be offered to Krishna. So they will give they will take less less profit from the devotees. They will say that for remaining people we take 25% from you, we will not only take 10% profit. So that way they are trying to help the devotees. And Radheshan Prabhu gives example like this person who was a flower seller, they asked him to deliver the flowers to the temple. So he said, okay, I'll come and deliver. But when he came to deliver the flowers, he had darshan of the deities, he heard chanting, he heard lectures, and he was attracted. And slowly, when he daily used to come to deliver the class, he became so attracted that he told the devotees that I will give you without any profit. And then slowly, he started chanting, he started attending lectures, he got association of devotees. So just that simple act of giving to Krishna made him a devotee later on. And in the fourth picture, we see that there are so many trucks. So one like person had a truck business, and he told the devotees that you can use my trucks free of cost wherever you want to go for organizing retreats and all for preaching activities. I will not charge you anything. And that way he engaged whatever he had with him for Krishna's sake. So Prabhupada says in the purport that every endeavor requires land, capital, organization, and labor. So we can help in any act of this. We can provide land, we can do charity, we can provide money if we are not able to directly do some service with our hands. So in this way also we can help to the cause of Krishna, and slowly, because we'll get association with Krishna's devotees, our mind will get purified with that act, and one day we can achieve perfection. So now from this, we understood that bhakti can also be practiced at multiple levels. And you can start from wherever level you feel comfortable at. Chaitanya Prabhu gives an example like if some person has fallen down in a well and we want to lift that person and we give him a rope. We first tell him, okay, just stand on your toes and raise your hands and try to catch the rope, we'll pull you up. So that person says, no, this is very difficult for me, I cannot do it. So he says, okay, I'll lower down the rope. You just lift your hands and hold it, we'll pull you. He says, I'm not able to do this also. Okay, I'll lower the rope further. You tie it around your waist and I'll pull you. So Krishna is also doing the same thing here. He is descending his ladder of love, ladder of devotion down and down for us. He is bestowing mercy upon us. He's saying, if you're not able to do this, at least do this. If you're not able to do this, at least do this. I take a guarantee that one day you will come to perfect stage. So we should start at some point. That's the basic message in this. And slowly, we can purify our mind, purify our senses, and then we will be able to engage our senses and intelligence and mind in Krishna's service. So these are the ladder. Now, in 11th verse, somebody will like to recite this verse?
I'll do it, Mataji.
Yes.
Attaitat api ashaktosi kartum matya yogam ashritah sarvakarma phalatyagam tatta kuru yatatmavam. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Thank you, Deepak.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
So, athe attapya shaktovasi. If this is also not possible for you, then sarva karma phal tyagam tatha kuru yatatma. Try to give up the results of your work, and in that way try to be self-situated. So, Prabhupada in the purport says this. Anybody like to read this?
I will read Mataji.
Yes,
If one attaches himself directly to the activities of Krishna consciousness, there may be objections from family members or so many other difficulties. For one who had such a problem, it is advised that he sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause. Thus, one may gradually become elevated to the state of knowledge. Example, when one gives charity to some hospital or some other social institution, he gives up the hard-earned results of his activities. Krishna consciousness itself can purify one's mind But if there are impediments to accepting Krishna consciousness, one may try to give up the results of his actions. In that respect, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc., may be accepted, so that someday one may come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord.
Thank you, Ashok. So in this verse, Prabhupada explains the purport that if you're not like, because in this verse mai and mam words have not been used, so it's teaching us about a general sense of sacrifice. Just try to sacrifice your hard-earned results for benefit of others. Try to help others in some of the other way, like someone gives charity to some hospital or do some social service and all these things. So that simple act of giving, what will happen? You will get that joy of giving and that satisfaction of giving. And from that joy of giving and satisfaction, your mind will get purified. And someday you may come to some stage of knowledge that yes, I'm not this body. I am spirit soul, and anything related to this body is temporary. And that's why whatever I have, I should sacrifice it. That tyag feeling, that giving feeling will come, and slowly he can rise to further level and then come to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Because at present, what is there? At present, like we are so much covered with bodily consciousness that we are not able to revive our original consciousness of eternal service for Krishna. Like when an iron, it is rusted, it cannot be attracted towards magnet. So similarly, we are rusted at present. We have to remove that rust. We have to purify our mind. And slowly, we can progress towards attraction towards Krishna. So this verse is teaching about giving up the results of our activities for some good cause. And slowly, you will start giving it for Krishna's sake. And then you can engage in Krishna's service and then engage your mind and intelligence in Krishna. So this is the descending ladder of devotion. So here in this verse, we see that Krishna is trying to accommodate even those who doesn't accommodate, as said in this slide. Krishna is so merciful and loving that he's trying to accommodate even those people who are not ready to accommodate. So this is just a summary slide of these 4 verses we have done. First verse was fix mind on Krishna. Okay. And then follow the regulative principles of sadhana bhakti. Then 10th verse we learned about working for Krishna, and 11th verse talked about giving up the results of your work. This is the descending ladder. This is the last verse for today. Somebody would like to recite this?
I'll recite. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasar jnanat jnanam vishishyate jnanat karma phala tyagas tyagas chantir anantaram. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind.
Thank you, Vashi. So, Prabhupada in the translation says that if you cannot take to this practice, now we may say this practice word is very non-specific. Here it is not highlighting which type of practice. But when we read Prabhupada's purport, we come to an understanding that Krishna is talking about this practice as Nishkam Karma Yoga here, which was mentioned in 12.10. This verse is not directly referring to 12.11, but to 12.10. Because in 12.10, Prabhupada talked about giving up the results of your work for Krishna, working for Krishna. So if you are not able to do that, then better you cultivate knowledge. So go from Nishkam Karma Yoga to the path of knowledge. But better than knowledge, however, is meditation. So you can, from knowledge, you will rise to Jnana Yoga. From Jnana Yoga, you will rise to Dhyana Yoga. And then in the end, it says, Dhyanat Karma Phal Tyagas. But better that in all these stages, you try to give the fruits of your action. try to develop that giving up tendency, that tyaga feeling. So tyag is always greater than anything else, because we may be a Gyan Yogi, we may be a Dhyan Yogi, but a Gyan Yogi may also have desire of merging into Brahmans, of liberation. A Gyan Yogi may also have desire to attain some Siddhi. So their desire is there. But renunciation of the fruits of action here means giving up all our tendencies, whether it is for bhukti, mukti, or some calm. Okay, like we want to get the results of our work. Okay? So we have to be at that level of renunciation. That feeling of tyag should be there, that we don't desire anything for ourselves. And then we are at that stage, like Bhuktaram Yagyatapsam, Sarvalok Maheshwaram, Suhidam Sarvabhutanam, Gyatmamam Shantim Mrichati. There also we talked about peace. And when we can attain peace? Only when we understand that Bhuktaram Yagyatapsam. Krishna is the benefactor of all sacrifices. So that way, we are not wanting anything for it. We are renouncing every result of any activity we are doing, whether it is knowledge, meditation, or any karma yoga. So that is the highest state, and that can alone give you peace of mind. So Prabhupada in the purport says that this is talking about like gradually going from Nishkam Karma Yoga to Gyan Yoga to Dhyan Yoga to Bhakti. So this is an indirect process, but for everybody, it's recommended that we directly adopt the process of Bhakti Yoga, because everywhere, so many times it has been mentioned that it is Susukham and Kartum. Susukham Kartum Ayogam, it is Susulabham. It is easy for us to cultivate, because in this Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to become a Gyan Yogi, a Dhyan Yogi. But we can easily practice the activities of devotional service as mentioned in the previous verses, whatever level we feel comfortable, and then we can rise ourselves to pure love of God. So last slide. If somebody has some questions, we can ask. We'll end the session or discuss something. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.